Hey guys, Brad Gilmore here. Want to give a big shout out to our title sponsor, Walker Texas Lawyer. If you or a loved one have been injured in an accident, whether that be a car, truck, motorcycle accident, or some kind of other issue, hit up Walker Texas Lawyer at 713-552-1117 or walkertexaslawyer.com.
Oh, Brad, what have you done now?
Broadcasting live from Houston, Texas, and around the world. TV host, best-selling author, and radio personality Brad Gilmore brings you a collection of conversations with stars from movies.
Matthew McConaughey.
Brad Gilmore.
Mark Wahlberg.
Hey, how are you?
The legendary Mr. Christopher Lloyd. Christopher, how are we doing?
I'm doing good. Great introduction.
Television.
Jimmy Fallon joins us this morning. Jimmy, how you doing, my friend?
Good morning. Thank you so much, Brad, for having me. I appreciate this, bud.
Kelly Ripa.
Brad, thank you for having me.
Comedy.
Jay Leno joins us. Jay, how you doing?
Hey, Brad, what's going on?
Chris Tucker is in the building. Chris Tucker, good morning to you.
Hey, Brad. Good morning to you. How are you?
Gabriel Fluffy Iglesias.
Good morning.
Music.
Lola Monroe.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
The legendary frontman of AC/DC, Brian Johnson, joins us right now. Brian, how you doing?
Good morning, Brad. What looking to talk to me funny, lad.
Grammy Award winner Maya joins us.
How are you?
And more. This is The Collection. Now your host, The Boat.
And joining me right now is a two-time New York Times best-selling author, reality star. You've seen him on your television screens for years, and I'm sure that you're a fan. He's got a brand new book called 9 Lives and Counting, A Bounty Hunter's Journey to Faith, Hope, and Redemption. Duane "Dog" Chapman, also known as Dog the Bounty Hunter, is joining us. Dog, thank you so much.
Yes, sir, Brad. Aloha. Thank you.
Let's talk about the book. Love the title. I love the play of the wordplay there with 9 lives and counting, and your Dog the Bounty Hunter, of course. But let's talk about the subtitle, A Bounty Hunter's Journey to Faith, Hope, and Redemption. Tell the people exactly what this book is about.
Well, it's about exactly what it says, my faith in God and in Jesus and redemption, how I've been redeemed, and how that you or anyone that reads it, it's kind of a map to redemption. And we go through, ironically, cats have 9 lives, but so do I, and still counting. So we go through some of the, problems I've had and the different things in life. And every time there was a problem, I always asked God to help me. And since Beth passed away, the last 5 years, I met my new wife, Francie, and she has helped me dedicate my life to God. So I'm still Dog the Bounty Hunter. We still do bounties, and we still do the same thing. But now we've added speaking in churches and going across America and, just talking about Jesus.
Well, for me growing up, I'm here in Texas, Houston, Texas, and my grandmother instilled that faith in me at a very young age. I'd go to church with her. We'd Bible study together after schools, things of that nature. When did God first come into your life? When did your faith really start to help shape who you are? Is this a recent phenomenon? Or I remember watching your show and you were always praying and talking about, God. So when did the faith come into your life?
Well, I'm like you, Brother Brad. I was raised by a charismatic Assembly of God Christian mother, and she was the fourth prophet in her family. All the women on that side were all Pentecostal preachers. So from the gate, I was dedicated to the Lord at 2 months old, and I strayed away once in the 70s, and I went to Houston also. It was called Texas Department of Corrections for 18 months, and so I was like, whoa, this is not what I expected. There's no bucket of gold at the end of this rainbow. The only thing there is a cell. So I got out in 79 and started, going back to my roots, to believing in God and asking God and repenting every day. And, God has blessed me, just incredibly.
Do you find that writing a book like this, is it cathartic in some way? where you're sharing your journey and sharing some of those, obviously the triumphs, but also the hard times, and kind of letting that out? Is there a catharsis to it?
Absolutely. It's like going to, I'm not a Catholic, but it's like going to a confessional booth with a priest. Once you get it out, it gets it off of your mind and off your heart and out of your soul. And then I realized as you write it, I had a great ghostwriter. And then once I read it, I'm like, oh, did I say that? She's like, well, absolutely. You said it on Tuesday, the 5th. I'm like, oh, man. So you just, it does help. And it's a calling card, that how did you get the name Dog? How did you, when did you become a bounty hunter? Why did you do that? Da, 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 da. And so instead of spending, an hour and a half telling all those stories, you can say, please, here's, purchase, or here's the book, read it. So, yeah, it helps. And books anymore, as you know, Brad, you don't make the money you did 20 years ago on them. And so, you kind of break even, but still the number one best-selling book in the world is the Bible.
Right, and probably always will be. But what I find interesting about your story, and even about your show, by the way, your show was something that was so much fun. I'm talking about the original Dog the Bounty Hunter run on A&E. Was so much fun to watch. My dad and I, it was appointment television for us, and it was a great time just to spend with my dad and watch you and your family dynamic and pursue these people and doing something you love. But one of the things that stuck out to me about that show was it really was kind of always about redemption in the end. Sure, there'd be this aggressive capture of whomever you were after, and rightfully so. You don't know who these people are, what they could do. But at the end of the episode, you would have this moment with them where you would counsel them and kind of share your story and maybe even shed a bit of light for their path of redemption. Was that always an important facet for you to do, one, in real life, and two, include in the show?
Well, yes. I rode with the Devil's Disciples, a sister club to the Hells Angels in the 70s. And so on the way to Texas Department of Corrections, a deputy picked me up and said, listen, man, there's something about you, Dog. You could change your life. And I'm telling you, you could be something. And then when they released me, I got 5 years and a day, and the warden found out the charge I did, and I, of course, didn't do it. And he said, today you're going home 18 months. And he said, I'm going to tell you something, Dog. You can go out there, man. People love you. You could really be something. So because of that backseat ride, that's why I gave every person I arrested the backseat ride, whether it was a man or a woman. Only one guy, a military guy, we arrested him on a military celebration. I forget, Veterans Day. And we caught him doing heroin. We kicked the door in. He was so embarrassed. He said, I don't want to hear nothing. And that was the only one out of, I've arrested over 10,000 fugitives in a 46-year career, but he was the only one that said I didn't want to hear it. So I got that from, going through it. You know what I mean? It worked on me, so it'll work on anybody.
I understand that. Now, yesterday, my wife and I actually celebrated our 2-year anniversary. And for our wedding, honeymoon, rather, we went to Hawaii and walked on those beautiful sands in Kauai. And to me, Dog, something about that state is different. And when you go there for the first time, that was my first time there, and you feel it, and when you leave, you're kind of never the same person. It has an impact on you. And I have all intents and purposes want to retire there one day when I can, God willing. What has Hawaii meant to you, and how has it changed you as an individual?
Well, I was there 26 years, and I was a speaker with Anthony Robbins in the 80s all the way up to the 90s. I was a guest speaker. And when Tony Robbins took me there the first time, this guy, I'm half Apache, but I'm light skinned. And this guy with dark skin, a Samoan, walked up to me and said, "What's up, brother?" And I was like, "Oh, not too much, brother." And so the people in Hawaii make Hawaii what it is. It's all different cultures. The Pacific Islanders, they are some of the toughest and biggest men and women. A lot of NFL guys are from there, or Samoan or Tongan or, Hawaiian. But it's the people that make Hawaii. It's just, incredible. And it is paradise, and they say it's expensive because you pay for paradise. But it's just, the Pacific Ocean is clear water. Of course, there is a lot of sharks. You got to watch it, but there's such a thing called Shark 30 at, 5:30 just before dark or early in the morning. You got to watch when you swim. So, and I learned so much from those people. And when they say aloha means I love you. And I like to tell everyone, I love you, but I don't want to sound, that way. So I say aloha, brother. They're like, aloha, dog. So I learned so much. I've got so many friends and, loved one. I just loved Hawaii also. But it was time for me to leave after Beth passed away 5 years ago. And then I met my Francie, and now we live in Florida. And I don't mean to, discount Florida, but I call it a generic Hawaii.
Well, I think the people in Florida would agree with you. It's a beautiful state, beautiful people, but Hawaii's probably got them beat. But you know what? I encourage everybody to check out 9 Lives and Counting, A Bounty Hunter's Journey to Faith, Hope, and Redemption by Duane "Dog" Chapman. Congratulations on the book, Dog, and thank you so much for just taking the time to share some stories and some insight to everybody. And, God bless you and aloha.
Aloha, brother. God bless you. And Brad, you accepted me on there, so thank you, sir.